Hey folks, Mobile Geezer out here again, this time with the Microsoft Surface Duo, the original one, and the Galaxy A52. Now this one's going to be a little different because normally my phones are thin enough that I carry my monopod with two brackets and I just put each phone in a bracket. But the Surface Duo was so wide I cannot fit it into a bracket, so it's going to be a lot of handheld stuff, and I can't do a side-by-side, so I'll be doing them one at a time. So now we're going to shut down this Surface Duo, which is what I'm on now, and this is 1080p 30 frames per second, and we'll do a little bit on the A52 and then we'll do the rear cameras. So here's the front-facing camera on the Galaxy A52, 1080p 30 frames per second. Just wanted to make sure I showed you a little bit of both of these, and now we'll turn the cameras around and go for a little walk and see how we do, especially with me holding this by hand.
Let's do this!
So here's the rear camera on the Galaxy A52. Let's try zooming in a little bit. Just zooming in on the flag. And there's 10 times zoom on the flag. Of course you can see that flag is pretty far away. And the distortion looks like it's pretty good to me. So let's zoom back out. And pan around just a little bit. And let's walk down to our tree. You guys let me know what the stabilization is like, and let me know how everything looks and sounds. It's been raining so much here. I was just glad to get a sunny portion of the day to go out and try to get this done. So here we are for our focus test. Of course these are one by one, so I'll be putting one after the other. So there's the focus on the A52. Looks like it's doing pretty good. Right, and now I'll try it with the Surface Duo. So here we are with the Surface Duo, 1080p, 30 frames per second, handheld of course, so pardon my shakiness, and pardon the train in the background. And let's try zooming in on the flag with this one. Okay, there's full zoom. It's not showing me how much. I think it's about 6 times zoom. Anyway, much shakier, and of course focus is way down. So let's bring it back out. Pan around a little bit. We'll take this one for a walk down to the tree. Don't know that I've ever done one of these camera comparisons just handheld, especially with the video. So this is going to be very different for me. But I hope it's good enough that you guys can see the differences in the cameras. Focus test. Colors look very different on the screen here than on the A52. Okay, now we'll go for a walk over by our usual brook and see what that looks like. So there's our little brook. Pretty calm considering how much rain we've had, although it is running nicely. Alright, now I'm going to try it with the A52. So now we're filming with the A52. Still 1080p, 30 frames per second. Seems very serene out here right now. It wasn't a couple of hours ago when we were getting lots and lots of rain. Alright, let's go for a walk with this up the path. So the stability test may be unfair with me doing everything handheld, but doing the best I can. All right, let's run a little bit. See, I bet you that's real shaky. And of course, since I have to do them one at a time, I have to go back and walk up the path again with the Duo when we finish with this. But you guys are worth it, so okay. And there's our creek flowing nicely. Pan around a little bit. And now we'll go to the Surface Duo. Okay, back on the path with the Surface Duo. So we'll walk up with this one. Once I get past the puddle, we'll run. Okay, let's run a little bit. This seems very, very shaky. Okay. Stability-wise, as near as I can tell, the Galaxy A52 seems much more stable. But we'll see when I get it on the computer. And there's our creek. And the usual pan around. And now we'll try some 1080p 60 frames per second. So here's 1080p 60 frames per second. A little zooming in there. And this is still the Surface Duo. It's not terrible, but I guess it's not great either. Come back out. And back around. 60 FPS. And now try the A52, then we'll go over by the ducks. Now here's the Samsung Galaxy A52, 1080p 60 frames per second. Try zooming in on that. And there's a full 10 times zoom. Quite a bit of distortion. We can come back to 5 times zoom, how that looks. Yeah, that looks better. Bee trying to land on my finger. Zoom all the way out. And we'll pan around a little bit more. And then we'll cut it down. We'll head over by the ducks and shoot some 4K. Okay, Samsung Galaxy A52, 4K 30 frames per second. And this is as high as I can go because this one will not do 4K 60, even though the Surface Duo will. So let's see if we can zoom in on Crane over there. He always keeps to himself, never associates with the ducks. You can see the ducks are beyond him. And there's 10 times zoom, the usual distortion, of course. Back out. Okay, here's the Microsoft Surface Duo, 4K 30 frames per second. Zoom in on the Crane again. Pardon my finger, I'm not used to holding it with my hands. And there's full zoom. pardon my shakiness. Because as I zoom in, it's going to get shakier anyway. Alright, we'll zoom back out. And since the A52 doesn't do 4K at 60, that'll be it for video. So we'll take a few pictures and that'll be it for today.